Welcome to the Lotus Riché Ignite Show. It's time to get ignited. Let's go. It's a great day. It's a great day in every way. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the show. I'm your show host, Dr. Lotus Riché, and welcome to the Lotus Riché Ignite Show, because it's time for you to get in where you fit in. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've always got room around my table for you. So many of my viewers always say, Dr. Lotus, I love when you say it again. My husband heard you saying it, and he was in the other room and he was saying it. So thank you to all of our viewers from all around the world. We absolutely love you and we appreciate you. And tonight we have got a magnificent show. So go ahead and share this out, no matter what you have, your iPhone, your iPad, your any phone you got, your iPad, whatever you got, go ahead and share it out on your computer, and tell your folks to come on in and get in where they fit in, because tonight we have a phenomenal guest on the show, and she is such a dynamic person, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to help someone else help themselves in business, being bold, and being brave. And tonight, my guest, Miss Elaine Crocker. See, her life is more than just a story. Her life is a myriad of events. It's a testament to the power of preservation, healing, and the unwavering strength of the human spirit. And tonight, if you're feeling down, well, honey, you have come to the right place at the right time. That's right. I said it, because Elaine is going to help you with her stories of how she overcame for over 2 decades. And she has dedicated to herself and her life to helping others just like you, using her own experiences to inspire, uplift those that are facing adversity. Now, you might say, Dr. Lotus, I'm not facing any adversity. Well, guess what? You might know someone who is. And Elaine tonight is going to give you some golden nuggets, as I say, some secret sizzling sauce, so you can sop it up with your biscuit, get lost into the sauce, and discover your way to where you want to go. Because Elaine, in her journey, even though it was harsh, she came through a lot of harsh realities of childhood trauma. And the childhood trauma that she suffered, honey, many people would have seen these type of challenges because they were insurmountable. But you know what? Elaine refused to give up. And tonight, she's going to help you do the same. And so go ahead and tag a friend. Tell them to come on in, because, baby, we are getting this party started. So if you're ready to get this party started, go ahead and put in number 5 in the chat. That's right. Tag 5 of your friends and tell them to come on in, because the next voice you're going to hear is my guest, Miss Elaine Crocker. Here goes. Welcome to the Lotus Riché Ignite Show. Please welcome the President and Executive Director of Yet Stand Incorporated, Miss Elaine Crocker.
Good evening, Dr. Lotus.
Good evening, and good evening. Come on. Yes.
Thank you for having me.
We are happy to have you. So, Elaine, it's been a while since you and I have been together in the same room. And
Yes.
so virtually tonight, we're together in the same room, and we're going to help our guests really talk about this thing that we are calling business, bold, and brave. So let's
Yes.
get right into it. Elaine, again,
Okay.
I want to thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And a lot of times when my guests come on, I ask them, what would you like to talk about? And you came up with this topic. So I want to unravel it. What made you choose this topic tonight?
Um, I guess because since I started the organization in 2022, I have definitely learned that, boldness, bravery, courage, all of those things are really, really necessary to not just get started, but to maintain, to sustain, not to give up,
Yeah,
because it's tough. And so you have to have a tough skin.
that's true. And
Yeah.
and when we talk about tough skin, we talk about pain. You really turn that thing around because your impact really extends beyond mentorship. You've turned your pain into art.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna unravel that. She said, yeah, I know that, right? So you wrote and you produced your own play called Yet I Stand.
Yes.
The
Yes.
powerful, very powerful, amazing screenplay, if you will. I call it screenplay or stage play,
Uh,
based on your own experiences.
yes.
And your message is clear. Your past does not define you. Your strength
Mhm.
does. When I
Yeah.
heard that, I was like, you go ahead with your bad self. So I never knew when I first met you what a prolific playwright you are. You're the queen of getting it done. So
Oh wow.
let's unravel this thing. Let's talk about your childhood because we know you had some trauma.
Hmm.
And let's talk about that. And then I want to talk about some key points that you share with us.
Okay. All right. So childhood. Like with everybody, there's good and there's bad, but some of the bad that I went through was pretty bad. um, so I experienced from a very young age sexual assault
Mm-hmm.
within my home, a couple of male family members in my home. And this was, I'm somewhere between, let's say, 5 and 7 years old. Um, and those situations really, really defined kind of life and the world and people, unfortunately, right? Because when you're young like that, your brain is still forming. You're
Yes.
very, very, very reliant and dependent on the adults in your life and trusting them and believing them. And so those experiences really were defining moments for me. Um, and it was something that I really kept silent about,
Right.
for the most part. I didn't have the language. These things, this is not something that people were talking about. I've
Right.
never heard sexual assault. I never heard molestation. Never heard rape. So I didn't even know.
Right.
I
What it
didn't, I didn't
was.
know what to even call what was happening, other
Right.
than knowing that there was something wrong about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, and so I basically I just carried the shame, the blame. I just came to believe that it had to be something about me,
Yes.
something that I was doing wrong. I didn't know what. I was a kid, but something was wrong with me.
Right.
And some years later, when I was somewhere between 10 and 12 years old, I was actually raped
Mm-hmm.
by someone in my neighborhood who lived up the
Mm-hmm.
street from me. And and the words were, if you say anything, you're going to get in trouble, you're going to be
Yes.
shamed, those things. And so
Yes.
that was like, yeah, I believe that. And so
Mm-hmm.
again, I carried it. I
Yes.
just carried it. um and to cope, to feel better, to not think, basically. uh
Mm-hmm.
in high school, I got
Mm-hmm.
heavily involved with alcohol and drugs.
Uh-huh.
and I was really heavily addicted for up
Mhm.
until my 20s, late
Wow.
20s. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it was just about, again, coping, and just trying to feel something other than, the bad things that I felt, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And earlier when you were speaking, you said that in your mind there was something wrong with you, and I said right, and I said right because I get it. I was in the same situation
Yeah.
at about age 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, right, I get it. There's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with you. There's nothing wrong with you, but I
Right.
understand
Yeah.
the psychology behind what you're sharing.
Yeah. Especially when it's repeated, it's repetitive.
Exactly.
So if it's
Hmm.
happening over and over, and you have no other explanations, because again, like I said, nobody's talking about it. So as a
Hmm.
kid, you just take on, you just take it on.
Yes. And
Yeah.
here's one of the things that we often hear, especially people of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard children are to be seen and
Yeah. Heard. That's right.
not heard.
That's
And
right.
so if you've ever heard that out there, go ahead and type that in the chat.
Yeah.
We are to be seen and heard.
And heard. Yeah.
We are to
Yeah.
be seen and heard.
Yeah.
Because what happens when we succumb to that, we have these children growing up, and sometimes they are still voiceless.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I heard the saying, if we as children, if we can't go to, let's just say it does not necessarily parents, but to the adults that are responsible for us, if we can't
Yes.
go to them with even little things,
Hmm.
a little
Right.
issue, we're definitely not coming to you with something big like that. If
Exactly.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and one of the interesting things is that oftentimes when children are in those situations, when they're raped or molested or what have you, they really can go to their parents, but because of how society
Yeah.
plays out, what said in this house stays in this house, and
Yes.
many of us are told that, and even on social media and schools and
Mm-hmm.
churches, we're told to silence of the lambs, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So oftentimes we stifle our own voice. We don't even go and tell because sometimes the perpetrator will say, if you tell, I'll kill you. If you tell, I'll
Exactly. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
this. Or so if you tell, you're going to get in trouble.
Right. Right.
And as a child,
Yeah.
you believe that.
Yeah.
You believe
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
that. And you
Um,
decided, go ahead, please.
yeah. No, and I was gonna say, and when I did start to hear as I got older, when I did start to hear people talk about, sexual assault or rape or anything like that, there was a automatic blaming of the victim. Well, what was she
Yeah,
doing there? Well, what did she
exactly.
have on? Well, why was
Right,
she with him? Or why did she
right.
go? And so that further kind of,
Mhm.
shuts you down because
That's true. Mhm.
it plays into the belief that you already have, that you're going to
Right.
be blamed and shamed.
That's
Yeah.
right. And I'm happy that you brought that up. And I want to take it even one step further because we want our audience to also know that we're not just talking about women here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about little girls. We're talking about
Mm-hmm.
little boys too. Often
Absolutely.
go through this. So
Mm-hmm.
please share this out with your family, share this out with your friends. I told you I've got an incredible guest here tonight, and she is here and she is sharing the amazing power that she has been able to garner and live her life
Yeah.
in fullness. And through her work, she continues to break cycles because
Mm-hmm.
that's a cycle that you were able to break, and you've
Yeah.
helped a lot of women overcome and become better.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the things they've suffered, you help
Yeah.
them not to give up, not to stay in shame, not to stay in blame, not to stay in guilt, because that really turns their power over to whoever um,
Absolutely.
hurt them.
Absolutely.
And you
Absolutely.
you
Yeah. And
you
when I
broke that cycle.
when I came to understand that that that's what was happening, that I was still giving them power, you know,
Mm-hmm.
over me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm out there in the streets, and I'm,
Yep.
you know, drinking and drugging and doing all these things, and I'm hurting and destroying myself, you
Yep.
know, for something that someone else did to me, you
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I really came to understand that, you know, and understand that, by one, just speaking about it, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
that could help me to begin to, you know, to take my power back and to believe that I did have
Mhm.
power.
Yes.
You know,
E-
well, I'm not powerless.
Exactly. Not only did you have power, you have power now because you had to open your mind and say, that is my power.
Mm-hmm.
And not
Exactly.
only am I um, going to take my power back, but I'm going to keep my power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you, by you sharing this, you help to uplift communities.
Yeah.
And you reminded us all that no matter how dark the journey, we can still stand.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the yet stand and the yet I stand. You know, that's exactly what that means. Exactly what
So,
that means.
so let's unwrap some key points that we had discussed in some of
Mm-hmm.
our back and forth talkings. So you have you shared that you have to have courage in business in spite of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Um, starting a business, it is scary because it's all on you, you know, in a sense.
Mhm.
You don't know what's going to happen. You just know that this is something that you want to do. And for me, I didn't know a lot. You know,
Mhm.
I just again knew there was something that I wanted to do. I had been around some people, I had seen some
Yes.
things, but actually doing it,
Mhm.
yeah, that was a whole nother, you know, that was a whole nother thing. And it is scary,
Yes.
it's risky,
Mhm.
but you know, you have to have confidence and faith in yourself and what you have within you.
Mhm.
um, for me, I have faith in God, and that he's gifted me with some talents and some
Yes.
skills and abilities, that I'm to use, and that those talents, skills, and abilities are going to, you know, propel me forward, but also help me to fulfill the mission of helping people to heal. You
Yes.
know, and so you know, you just have to hold on, you know, and just and for me, the big thing is the belief and the faith and confidence in this is what I am supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
And
And
as long as
so,
I stay on path,
mhm.
you know, it will work out regardless of, you know, fears and risks and what people might say.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're actually tiptoeing into another one of your key points. But before we go over there, I want to ask you this because when someone has the horrific trauma that you've had
Hmm.
and have so many other traumas too, because people have other traumas in life, a lot of times they question their ability.
Yeah.
How can I help someone else when I've gone through this? Are
Hmm.
people going to see me and say, no, you've been through that, so I don't want to? And so when you start to go in business,
Hmm.
what helped you to have that courage? Because sometimes those old things hold us back
Yeah.
from going into business, that fear.
Yeah. I'll tell you something that you said about, you know, how you might let your past or things that you've been through hold you back. What I found was the more I talked about it, like,
Mm-hmm.
like sharing it with people, that it encouraged people and it inspired
Mm-hmm.
people and it motivated people, and they wanted to and still want to in some way be a part, you know.
Yep.
There's something to seeing someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, I when I was in coming out of my addiction, I would go to the Narcotics Anonymous
Yeah.
meetings, and one of the things that really helped me was being in the meeting. There's someone up front that's leading this meeting. They're telling their story,
Mhm.
and they're telling my story basically.
Yes.
But they're in a different place. They're in a better place. They're
Mhm.
living a better life. Not perfect, but they're living a
Right.
better life. They're doing good. And that there's something attractive about that and appealing, and it makes
Yes.
you want that, you know?
Mhm.
And that's really what it was for me. I understood that there was
Mhm.
power in that there was power in speaking it, and
Yes.
sharing it.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I said, seeing how people respond and react to that
Yes.
was really
And
encouraging,
when you
to keep me going.
Mhm. Right. And when you go after it and get it, you really free yourself. So hats
Yeah,
off to you.
yeah,
I give you a huge hand clap on that. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, you have to make up your own mind.
yeah.
Nobody can do it for you.
No,
So
no,
that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So you talked a bit about you have to have confidence in your purpose, your vision, and your decision
mm-hmm,
in spite of the risks. I
yeah,
heard you say confidence, and that's why I said we tiptoeing into a deep. So not just in your own self, but
hmm,
your purpose. You have to
yeah,
know what your purpose is.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
to know what the vision is that you've
yeah,
been given.
yeah,
And then, honey, you got to make a decision, no
right,
matter what the risk. So talk
right,
about that because sometimes we get to that point, but we stay stagnant because we just don't want to take the risk.
yeah, yeah. So for me, the risk was, um, so I'm starting a business, and it's based around my own traumas, my past. Um, and the risk was, when I start talking about this, in the beginning I thought people don't want to hear it, people don't care,
Mm.
like, God, this is not what I wanted to do. I prayed, for the business, for the nonprofit and all, but that was not what I wanted to do. Um, and so it for me, it had to be that, I was clear,
Yes.
really clear, that, one, the things that I went through were not in vain,
Yes.
and that, um, as hard as the things were and as traumatic as they were, my talking about it, my sharing about it, my trying to help other people, that there was power in that, you know, and
Yeah,
that,
that's powerful.
yeah, and that I'm not only, some of it's selfish because it helps me, every time I talk about it, every time I feel just a little,
Yes.
I feel a little more healed, I feel a little
Mhm.
more,
Mhm.
empowered. Um, but yeah, and then there's just the risk also of really not knowing. I mean, this is my first time, 2022,
Right. Right.
starting a business. I
Mhm.
was kind of like a fish out of water,
Yeah.
but I realized something, that a lot of the jobs that I had and a lot of the
Yes.
volunteer work and things that I
Mhm.
really were stepping stones. Really was.
Yes.
I've worked
Yep.
in corporate. I've worked in corporate America all of my life.
Yep.
I learned so much, and I didn't really realize how much I had learned until I
Mhm.
stepped into starting my own thing. It's like, oh,
Yes.
okay, you know
Yep.
I know this.
Like,
I remember
yeah.
this. I pick, um and then, having confidence in spite of the fear that it might
Mhm.
not work.
Mhm.
It might not work,
Yeah.
you know
And
and
have you just ever stopped and said to yourself, girl, you could do this and just start laughing?
yeah, 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 because it's like, yeah, you hear people say things like, I'm built for this. And
Yes.
I was built for this. I was
Right.
designed for this. I
Right.
was called, purposed, and called to this.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting and funny because when you sit back and you just laugh at yourself, like you was really afraid of this. But
Mm-hmm.
and I remember Mr. Les Brown, Dr. Brown said, fear is false evidence appearing real. And when
Yeah.
you sit back and you look at it and you like, what am I afraid of? You just
Yeah.
like laugh out loud. Like
Yeah.
What am I afraid of, right? What am I afraid of?
Exactly.
So
Something a friend of mine says, she says a lot, something will happen, a situation will come up, we work together and a situation will come up, and, we may start to get a little worried or anxious about,
yes,
and then just say, wait a minute, is anybody going to die? Is
that's what I
what's
say.
what's the
Yep,
worst that can happen? Is
yep,
anybody? It's not going to kill anyone. So you
yep,
know what I mean. And I
yep,
and I and I think like that. I find myself in a
yep.
situation. I'm getting a little, and I'm like, nobody's dying here. There's
Yep.
no,
And that's what I said. I said nobody died. I mean, nobody died. So okay, we good.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you gotta take the risk. If
yeah,
if you don't take that risk, then all of the things that you were given is going to go in that graveyard with you. And
exactly.
Mr. Brown, Dr. Brown said that too. One of the richest places on earth is in the graveyard.
Wow.
And so unless we take those risks, these wonderful things that only we have brought in our package to the world will go
Yeah.
with us. So
Yes.
let's talk about intuition,
Mm-hmm.
because you talked about your intuition is very important in business. First,
Mm-hmm.
tell us what intuition is in your mind's eye, and why is it so important in business?
Yeah. So intuition, in this in the spiritual world, we'll call it, uh, oh gosh, my mind went blank. Discernment.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and for me, it is it's a feeling,
mm-hmm.
like in a place I can't really, this deep inside, where I
Yes,
feel this is right,
right.
or that this is wrong. Uh,
Mm-hmm,
I should go left and not right.
mm-hmm,
I should get in business with this person or no. And it's
mm-hmm.
something that is deep within me that I feel, and I've learned to trust it, because I've learned that when I
Wow.
don't trust that,
Mm-hmm,
I end up going in the wrong direction, or I end up getting in business with someone that I shouldn't have, and so I really rely on that. When I get that feeling deep down,
yes,
in my gut that something,
yes.
is a miss or right one, whatever that is,
Mhm.
I listen to it. I
I
listen
like
to it.
that. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And I'm gonna
I've
I'm gonna
learned the
go
hard way.
Mhm. I'm going to go a step further too, folks, because intuition means different things to different people, but fundamentally, we're all saying the same thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
Copilot says intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
thing that one knows or
yeah,
considers likely from instinctive feeling
yeah,
rather than conscious reasoning. And that's that thing, like you said, your gut. A lot of
yeah,
people call it your gut. Trust
yeah,
your gut. What does your gut say?
yeah. And when I
What
try
is
to
your gut
reason with
say?
it, and I try to reason with it, or I try to argue with it, or I try to change it and make it into something different, it doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. And I'm always like, oh, I should have just listened to my intuition. I wouldn't be, in this situation if I had
Mhm.
just listened to that. And so I rely on it so heavily. Like, people will ask me different questions. Well, how did you do? Or how did you know? Or how did you? I oftentimes really can't explain it, other than I just knew it. I just knew
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we appreciate Go Pilot. Thank you, Go Pilot, for that. We needed to share that with our folks, because at the end of the day, we know that we all have our traditions, our sayings, our thoughts,
Mhm.
and sometimes they don't all mean the same thing to everybody, and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. So we
Yeah.
want to give credit to credit where credit is due. Go Pilot, we thank you. And so I want to go right down to something else that you shared, and then we're going to take a quick break after this and come back. And we
Okay.
have some comments from our audience. And so,
Okay.
audience, make sure you stick with us. Make sure you share this broadcast, because we're going to bring your questions up on the screen to answer some of these questions. Okay. And then I got some questions for her as well. And so, your mental health matters.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. Why
Yeah.
is mental health so important?
Yeah. Um, Actually, I believe mental health matters in everything, in all walks of life, because our mental health can
Mhm.
affect our lives, good and bad. You know,
Exactly right.
um, and what I realized was, because I had thought about starting a nonprofit years
Hmm.
ago,
Hmm.
and I didn't start it until 2022. And part of that was because there was some not mental health illness, but just some mental health. There was some thoughts, some
Right.
beliefs, some habits, you know, some triggers, some that I had to work through. Um, because if you go into anything, business,
Yes.
relationships, work, whatever it is, and you're feeling maybe stressed, or
Yes.
you're feeling some depression, you're anxious, you're all that really can affect your decision making.
That's true.
It can affect your choices, you know. It can
Mhm.
even affect your listening to that intuition, where you let your
Right.
mind, where you let your mind take over, and you listen to what your mind is saying, instead of listening to that, to those gut feelings, you
Hmm.
know. And so I know when I look back on it that, for instance, I'll say with finances,
Hmm.
I had issue with money. I didn't
Hmm.
have a good relationship with money for a long time.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you, God knew that. Like, you can't start a business and your money, yeah, no, because you're
Money,
gonna you're
money.
gonna mess up some
Right.
things. You're gonna,
Hmm.
and so I had to figure out, why, why do I have this issue with money? Why do I spend the way that I do? Why don't I save better? Why don't I, you know? And I had to work. That's something that I had to work through. You know,
Yes. Yes.
People.
Hmm.
I had difficulty, in relationships, and a lot of that did stem from,
Hmm.
initially in my life, the
Right.
relationships closest to me were the
Uh-huh.
ones that, that did the most harm and the most damage. And
Right.
so I had to
Hmm.
work through that. I have to have people, in order to do life, in order to do business. And so I
Hmm.
had to kind of work through, relating better with people, communicating better with people, not letting my mind and the triggers and all of these
Yes.
things, get in the way.
Hmm.
And those are just some of the ways.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
powerful. So if you have had some of the same experiences, go ahead and put in number two, me too, or someone I know, but still put that too in the chat, because you can take a moment tomorrow or even next week and replay
Mhm.
this video. You can go to YouTube, you can come right back here to Facebook and rewatch this. And I always say note takers are money makers and money makers are note takers, but you can't make no money if you don't take no notes. And you know what? Money is not just greenbacks. Money is the value in your life from exercising the things that are most fruitful to you. So we're here tonight with our guest, Elaine Crocker from Yet Stand Incorporated. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, so I'm back with our amazing guest, Elaine Crocker from Yet Stand Incorporated. And don't forget, make sure you stay on the lookout. In another week, the tickets are going to be hot on the box for the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit, When Women Exhale, right here in the DMV. And this is an event you don't want to miss. Tickets are going to sell out fast. So make sure you keep your eyes open next week when we drop it on you to get your ticket. So, Elaine, thank you so much again. We are having a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And folks, we are going to have some comments from you. If you're just joining us tonight, we are talking about business, bold and brave, how to be in business, how to be bold, and how to be brave. And a lot of times we have challenges. And if you have a challenge with it, go ahead and put it in the comment. I got the amazing specialist right here tonight that can okay, go to one of her plays. She might help you work through some things. So we're going to write to our audience right now, and we're going to pull up a couple of the comments from our audience. And we've seen several of you. Hello, Emilio. He's coming out of New Jersey. We got folks from the Philippines, of course, in DC. They're here. There he is, all the way out of Jersey. Thank you so much. And so Angie has a comment. She's coming out of Maryland. She says, the message in your story is what attracts those who need to hear it.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And she says, your story is your voice and your power, which inspires people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's great. And we have, it's important to be able to laugh at yourself and know that you're okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So the first couple of comments made about inspiring people, and that's really why I do not only the business, but why I do the play. What I learned is that, or what I've come to is that it almost doesn't matter too much how many people come.
Yes.
I mean, you want
That's
people
right.
to come, because you work
Right.
hard and you put out money and you rehearse and all these things. And so you want people to come. But what's most important to me is that the people who come are the people who really need to hear the story, who really need the inspiration, who really need the hope. That's what I want. And absolutely, after every play, and I've been doing this the play since 2015, every year. And there's always, without a doubt, people that are in the audience that will, one, they may say, I've never said this to anyone before, but I was raped, or I was molested, or they'll ask, how and where can I get help? And they share, maybe it's not their story. I had someone the other day say, that's my mother's story,
Wow.
things like that. That's my sister's story. That's my brother, and that's really why I do what I do.
Wow.
Really what I do, what I do.
And we have a comment that says, if you don't take a chance on you, nobody will.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take that risk. To your point earlier, I like that you said that, to your point. And trusting your gut can lead to better decision making as it connects you to your values and taps into your subconscious knowledge. That's powerful. Well, that's good. We got that too. So, folks, be sure to share this broadcast out, and we're going to get right into our other items we wanted to make sure we go over with you while we got you in the house.
Okay.
So we got a couple questions, but before I go there, one of your key components was know your lane, stay in your lane, and let others do the same. Tell me about that.
Oh my goodness. And that is a struggle. It's still a little bit of a struggle for me. But like I said earlier, God has gifted us all with our unique talents, skills, abilities. We may do similar things, but no one does it like you do it. You're gifted to do it a certain way. You're gifted to do certain things, like with my nonprofit. I'm an administrative type of person. I'm a visionary. that's my lane, you know, pulling people together, doing some organizations, but the visionary part, I can see it, but I often need other people who can come along and say, I get it, but we can't quite do it this way because of this. I don't
Yes.
necessarily think of all that. I just see the vision. This is what I see. This is what I want to happen. Make it happen. You know, and so to have other
Yes.
people be connected to other people and have other people, in my circle who, like I said, can say, I get it, but
Mhm.
look at this. Think about this. See,
Exactly.
and that's what I mean. Stay in my lane and let other people have their lane and do what they do. I used to try to do it all. Like I thought I could just do everything. Like when I first started, like I was doing everything, and I realized that, yeah, no, there's some things, like for instance, even though I'm better with money, but I'm not like a treasurer, I'm not an accountant, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to do that stuff, and I'm just like pulling my hair out, you know.
Yes.
So you need a treasurer, you need an accountant,
Right.
things like that. Right now with the stage play, for the
Mhm.
first, really for the last 10 years,
Mhm.
I've kind of been, the main producer, making sure everything's done, venues, everything, cast, I'm doing it all. And I prayed about that and I asked for help because I knew I needed help, and I knew that I needed help. If for nothing else, it's because if I want this thing to move forward and
Yes.
I want to be able to sustain it, I have to get help because I can't, it's not
Exactly.
sustainable just on
Right.
my shoulders,
You can't be an island. And
Right.
to your point earlier, Mr. Tyler Perry, he shared at one time when he was writing his plays and showing them for several years. He would put a play on and nobody would show up. He would put a
Mm-hmm.
play on. He'd have 30 people in the audience and he knew every one of them.
Yeah.
And he never stopped. He kept
Yeah.
going and kept going and kept going, to
Yeah.
your point of he he knew that giving up was not an option. So go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, somebody put in the chat, giving up is not an option.
Yeah.
He knew that wasn't an option for him.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
kept going. And then one night, he put that same play on. And somebody either said something to him and said, "Hey, man, but he was ready to say, if nobody comes this time, I'm done. I'm done, man.
Mm.
I'm giving up. I'm done."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Angie. I appreciate you. Giving up is not an option. And hey, I see you. I see you there, Miss Kim Jacobs from the Kim Jacobs Show. Kim, you definitely got to have Elaine on your show. You got to have Elaine on your show. Please share this out. Please share this out. So he said
Mm-hmm.
somebody had to come and tell him. He was like, "What, man? What? Nobody's here. Nobody's in the audience." And they were like, "No, man. Look out the window. There was a line all the
Yeah.
way around the theater."
Yeah.
And that goes to show,
Yeah.
if you just keep on keeping on. I love
Yeah.
Gladys Knight, on and on. Keep on keeping on. If we
Yeah.
just keep on keeping on, even when things get hard,
Mm-hmm.
we can
Yeah.
still make it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
our motto for all of you that's listening, and this is what I used to say when I was in college: for the long, hard nights, working 2 and 3 jobs to pay my mortgage and put myself through school, giving up was not an option.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I was closer then to my degrees than I ever had been in life. And so I'm
Mm.
going to tell you, you may be closer now than you've ever been
Yeah.
to your breakthrough, but
Yeah.
you'll never know it if you give up. If
That's
you
right.
don't stand on business, if you
That's
don't
right.
stand on what she said. She thought up the title tonight. What she said: business, being bold and brave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being bold and brave.
I heard a saying. It says that every no is a step closer to a yes.
Yes, that's
You
correct.
know, on the other side of
Correct.
it, there's a yes is coming. And you talked about Tyler Perry, and of course, I didn't know him or know his story when I started doing the play in 2015. But when I started doing the play, literally, like you said, we would come out, and there would be 10, 15, maybe 20 people, in the audience, and this would happen for maybe the first 3 years or so.
Yep.
And then some words started getting out amongst churches, and
Yep.
we were asked to come to churches, and then there would be more people, but it can fluctuate. There is sometimes we'll come out and there'll be maybe 75 people in the audience. The next year there may be 150 people in the audience, but I did have a lot of moments early on where it's like, maybe I'm not hearing right, maybe this is maybe this intuition is not, it's off, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, because again there was that thought, nobody cares, nobody wants to hear these stories, nobody, and but there again was just that feeling like it was a calling, like you have to keep going, you have to keep doing this. And it's been 10 years, and now we're in the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts, the largest venue and stage, that we've ever been on.
Yeah. And folks, you just got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Stick with it. So I want to know more about the play. I know you have another play coming up, and we like some dates. So please make sure you give us the dates. Let us know where it is so that we can support. So I'm going to take a quick break, everybody, and we're going to come back, and the only beautiful face you're going to see in the screen, I'll be backstage. She's going to be in the screen because I want all lights on you. I want you to talk to our audience, tell them where it's going to be, how they can get a ticket, and how they can connect to you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. That was a quick break.
That was real quick. You're done?
We'll be right back. All right, Igniters, and we are back with my lovely guest, Elaine Crocker. Now, before I said the only face you was going to see was hers, but hey, we had somebody, Miss Marie, I hope I'm saying it right. She said the play is awesome.
Oh, May Ridges.
Yeah, you didn't have to hear from us. You hearing it from Miss Ridges. The play is awesome. So get your ticket. So now you're going to be the only pretty face in the scene. Okay, here we go.
All right. All right. So the stage play that I wrote, loosely based on my own experiences with the trauma of sexual assault, is called Yet I Stand. It will be seen on Sunday, March 22nd at 4 p.m. at the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts, which is in Bowie, Maryland. And you can get tickets at B like boy, C, P like Paul, A.org. And just, scroll through, and Yet I Stand will come up, and there'll be a button there for you to get tickets. You can also get tickets if you wanted to go directly to instantseats.com. And again, put in Yet I Stand, and you can get tickets that way as well. And so again, the play is loosely based on my own experiences, mine and my family. When traumas happen to one person, the people that connected to them, whether it's family, friends, are all affected in some way. And so what you'll see in the play is that you will see some of the trauma that I went through. You'll see the effects that it had on me, the shame, the guilt, the abusing alcohol, abusing drugs. You'll see the issues that I went through within my family, especially with my mother, who didn't know what had happened, so she didn't understand why she was seeing these acting out behaviors that I had, drinking, drugging, stealing, running away, all these things. And so you'll see some of that between my mother and I. And you'll also hear some other stories of domestic violence that was within my family. You'll hear some about the traumas that actually a male in my family, sexual trauma that he endured, and he actually was one of the persons who was a perpetrator of me. So you'll kind of see all of that. You'll get to see how when you hear someone tell you this, you'll see some of how to respond and how not to respond. You know, so we do definitely have to be careful in how you're responding, to a victim. So you'll see some of how I wasn't believed and what that looked like. And then ultimately at the end, you'll see how we come together as a family in love with God, with prayer, with hope, and encouragement. And we have decided that we're going to fight. Basically, we're gonna fight for my life, and we're gonna fight for my family. There will be vendors. We'll have about 10 vendors there. We will also have food. We'll have, like hot dogs and chips and drinks and things like that. So it's going to be, there's also music in the play. It's not a musical, but we do have some songs which will be sung live. And we'll also have some dance, a couple of dancers. So it's going to be a good show. Good show. Again, inspirational, and so for anyone who has been through that particular trauma, or really any trauma, come out and come out and see the play. And the ultimate hope of the play is that it helps somebody. However many people in the audience, if one person walks away with hope, then we've done our job.
Fantastic. And I'm looking forward to being there March 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
I was headed down to Atlanta, but the crew is going over to DR. So going over to Atlanta after that. So I'm looking forward to joining in the play.
That'd be wonderful.
So I hope to see many of your faces out there.
Yeah. And the tickets are, I'm sorry, so general admission is $35. So, not a lot. And we also have group rates. So, 10 to 20 people, they can get their tickets for $30, and groups over 20 can get their tickets for $20. So.
Right. Fantastic. Yeah. I like that. So if you have your best friends, your best guy friends, your best girlfriends,
your church groups,
together, church groups, business groups, work groups, besties, cousins. I had a friend fly in the other night, and he said a bunch of the cousins, they get together. So if you having a cousins thing, go ahead and get your group rate. Your group rate is going to be $20. So how do they sign up for the group rate?
Yeah, and the general admission, Lotus, is $35.
Okay, general admission.
35 general admission, yeah.
So y'all scratch that. I made a boo-boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
general
group
admission
rate,
is $35. Okay.
Group rate $20, and that's for groups of over 20 people. 10 to 20 people can get their ticket for $30.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So I got that corrected for that general admission. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
tuning in and you happen to tune in later, that's fine. Make sure you scroll down and see that the general admission is $35, please and thank you. And so those of you that have shows that belong to groups or organizations, please share this broadcast out, because this amazing play will help to change someone's life,
Yeah. Yeah.
yours
That's the
included,
goal.
for the better. So, with that, again, I want to thank you again for being on the show. As
Thank you.
always, you are so amazing
Thank
and
you.
dynamic. So, I know the play is playing there. Are you going to be moving the play around from state to state over time?
I mean, we would love to. We would love to. And like I said, we started in churches, so we're always probably going to be in a church somewhere.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're willing to to move around. If, wherever they want us or will have us.
I know that's right. So, if you want to have her bring her play to your church, to your event, to your city, how can they reach out to you?
Okay. So they can reach out to me. I would say the best way is to reach out to my email, which
Mhm.
is yetstand@gmail.com. That would be the absolute best way to reach out to me for that.
All
And
right,
and
fantastic.
we're all over social media. Elaine Crocker and Yet Stand and Yet I Stand. We're on Facebook, Instagram. So you can always message. If that will work for you as well.
All right, fantastic.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. So, for all of you that's looking to get your ticket, go ahead and get your ticket and contact her. Let her know how she was on the show. And don't forget, contact her if you're ready to have her on your show, because you still can yet stand. So,
Yes.
with no further ado, we absolutely love each and every one of you. And we send out hugs, blessings. So, I always say, be blessed, don't stress, and don't take no mess as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
I, I
We'll
love
see you
that.
next episode. Have a good night.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for watching the show, and follow us on YouTube. Ring that bell so you don't miss a thing.
See you on the next episode of the Lotus Riché Ignite Show, where we're helping you to ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at lotus@lotusricheigniteyou.com. Ignite your mind and ignite your life.